All right, we're going to go ahead and continue on with media availability here this afternoon. We are now joined by Carl Edwards, driver of the number 19 Stanley Toyota. Carl, the round of 12 starts here this weekend at Charlotte Motor Speedway. You've had some success here with a win in last year's Coca-Cola 600. With the win in advance scenario, how important is it to find victory lane here this weekend with Kansas and Talladega remaining in round 2?
Somebody's going to leave here really happy. I hope it's me. This is, this round I believe is probably the toughest one, just with Talladega out there. And these mile and a halves, it's so competitive right now. We saw it with the first round. You'd think that, making the 12 out of 16 would be easy. It was actually, it was a pretty good battle there. So, we hope to get a victory here. We had a pretty good car. The car felt really well, or felt really good. Drove really well in the first practice here in race trim. So, hopefully we get to practice a little more, try some other things. But yeah, you need to get a win.
All right, we'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start up front with Tom Jensen.
Hey, Carl. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. How important is it for you not to have to go into Talladega having to win?
Because of what can happen at Talladega. I mean, because so much is, less is in your control. Yeah, you don't want to go into Talladega having to win. But as you ask that question, I think, man, it might be a little easier to go into Talladega just having to win. That makes it pretty simple. So, for us, the plan is to get a win before Talladega and just be able to go have some fun there.
All right, we'll go to Nate, and then we'll go to Brian.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Carl, there was a lot of talk this week about conservatism and points racing, maybe in the first round, and some of it centered kind of on the pits, where one mistake in the pits now can be the difference between first and 15th or whatever over the course of like a green flag run or whatever. My question would be, like, can you ask pit crew members to be more conservative? Knowing like what the risks are, that if they make a mistake, it can neutralize a winning car, but also knowing that if you are too conservative, it seems like that'll put you back anyway.
No, I don't even want to think about that stuff. Everybody just has to go do their jobs the best they can, and you can't give up any speed. It's so competitive that you lose a spot or two on pit road being conservative. I mean, that's at the end of the day, could be as bad as being fast and just having one bad pit stop. So I don't know. Right now, it just truly is so competitive. We went to Chicago, we had an off day, ran I guess 14th or 15th, and that was it wasn't that hard to do. So you can't give up you can't be conservative, I guess, is the short answer. I don't think you can. No, I think, well, man, I'd have to think about all the math of it, but I guess with less people and arguably faster people, there's less room to give up any spots. I mean, this round could go through, especially these first couple of races, the 12 guys racing for these 8 spots could be first through 12th in finishing order in these first 2 races. And so against that competition, if you're a little bit conservative, it's really easy to run 10th, and you just can't do that. So I don't know. We're planning on being as fast as we can be. We have not, the word conservative hasn't come up at our shop this week.
All right, we'll go to Brian, and then we'll come up front, and then go to Reed.
Brian Nelson with the MRN. So, Carl, you finished round 1 10th in the rankings, and now that's all evened out. But knowing that only 8 are going to advance to the next round, do you feel like you got to step it up a little bit? How do you describe, where your team's at?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. We're really aware of that. We know that first round was that's too close. We need to do it. We need to run better. We need to have better finishes, and we can. That's the the good part is that we have the equipment, the engines, the pit crew, the experience. Myself and Dave Rogers both, we're pretty calm and confident here. We just got to go do a little bit better job. And it's pretty neat this week to hang out with Dave and talk about, stepping it up a little bit, focusing on what we need to do, and now we just got to go do it.
All right, come up front.
Zach ready, front stretch. Kurt Busch said that he believes this is where the chase really begins. Would you go as far to say you just try to get through that first round, and this is where you really, because getting to that top 8, you said it's really tough. Do you feel the same way?
I agree with that. I think that you're going to see these 12 guys really step it up. You know, it's every lap of practice, every pit road entry, every pit road exit, every restart. You have to step it up. You have to get every point you can. And we talk about Talladega a lot, but you can lose a lot of points at these places or gain a lot of points by being on your game and making things happen. So yeah, it's going to be intense. I think it just feels to me, I said it at Chicago on our media day, it feels like this chase is more competitive. It feels like it's going to be tougher, and yeah, I agree it starts now.
Reed?
Reed Spencer at NASCAR Wire Service. Carl, as strong as the 78's been lately, are you guys still as privy to what they're doing as you were earlier in the season?
I'm not sure. No, we are. If we didn't know what engines and chassis and setups those guys had, it'd be really easy to say they've got something. They've got something special that we don't have. But knowing what they have and knowing what they're able to do with it, that's a motivator. And I've been telling people this week, I really believe you're going to see the other four JGR cars really step it up, because Martin is he's that rabbit out there that we're all chasing, and we know it can be done. And I think in the end, that's a gift to have somebody in your camp or close to you that can do that.
All right, we'll go over to Woody and then to the back.
Woody Kane with MRN. Carl, looking ahead to next week, I'm just curious if you could describe, not that every weekend's not crazy, but with the swirl of the chase and it being your home track, how insane that's going to be for you next week.
Yeah. It's a really cool week for me to go to Kansas, and I've already got a lot of people talking about coming and watching the race, people that I know and people that have helped me a lot. And so a win here would be great, because I go to Kansas and have a little more fun and hang out with people a little more. But a win there, like I've said a bunch, that'd be as big as a Daytona 500 for me. That place and the people there are so special to me. Hopefully we can get it done.
All right, we'll finish up in the back.
Jacob Seelman, Race Chaser Online, Performance Motorsports Network. Carl, I know a lot of people have come in here saying they're optimistic opening this second round of the chase at Charlotte, and you've had success here. You won the 600 before. Is this a place that, for you is maybe more comfortable than, I know Kansas is your home track, but it always looks like you've performed well here. Is there something specific about here at Charlotte that you found that you've liked that's made you comfortable the last couple of years?
I feel like I've had the gift of really great crew chiefs here. And this place is tough to manage throughout a night and throughout a race as it changes. So for me, I don't come here, this track doesn't feel any different. I don't have any more confidence here, but we've always been able to run well, and I really attribute that to some really great crew chiefs and calls that they've made. So I've got that right now with Dave. Plus we've got the great cars, we've got the engines, we've got what it takes. So we just got to manage everything and go do it. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing that we're doing. I mean, everything we've always, all of us, all 12 of us right now are, it's the ultimate prize in motorsports, and we get to go fight for it. And I guess it's just, you say everybody's optimistic, I think, because we are, and it's fun, so hopefully we can get it done.
All right, we actually have two more questions. We'll go to Mike in the middle and finish with Tom.
Hey, Carl, Mike Solarte, Time Warner Cable News. The track at night in the 600, obviously you guys go day to night there. This is completely at night, and the temperatures are supposed to be down. How much faster is this surface here when it gets this cool? Because it's cool in May, but this is going to be, by comparison, cold.
What's interesting to me is it's not the speed that's the biggest factor. I think what you're going to see is that if it does rain, if we get this rain that they say could happen, it's going to be a change throughout the night with the rubber building up and the way the track responds to the tires. And I think managing that is going to be interesting. I think it's going to be difficult. The more these cars get on edge and the more perfect you get the setups and everything gets really close, I believe it becomes tougher to manage them throughout a changing night or like we're going to have. And I think a big part of that is not, a big part is what you said, it's the temperature, but another part will be if the track is clean, as it takes rubber all night, it'll change.
All right, Tom?
Just a quick last question, Carl. Obviously, all 5 of the affiliated Toyotas made it to the round of 12. What's a reasonable expectation for the round of 8?
I don't see any reason why we can't all 5 make it to the round of 8. We've got great cars, great engines. Really good teamwork. If we could get Cole to tell us everything, that would help. But I mean, seriously, those guys are so good that it gives us a lot of optimism. So everybody's looking up, looking forward. I mean, we really feel like we can step it up a little bit and run really well. So I don't think there's any concerns in our camp.
All right, thanks for joining us, Carl, and good luck this weekend.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.